Welcome to the Fashionista Life podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Johnson. If you have found yourself here, it means that you may be looking for courage, clarity, and confidence in some part of your life. Or hey, maybe you want to just be entertained, and that's great as well. So, friends, let's go ahead and get started. Today, we welcome back into the studio Stephanie Jonas of Maverick Boutique. Welcome back.
Hi, Jen.
Hello.
Thank you.
So the last time that you were here, we chatted about the 5 things that you think make up a girl boss.
Mm-hmm.
And you're so qualified in that area to talk about that because I think of you as a girl boss.
So sweet. Thank you. And I think of you. We did this last time.
We did this last time and I said we could go on and we're still going on, guys. We did it all behind the scenes. But you have been on an interesting business journey. You've had a lot of things that you've done, and we went through that in the last podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to talk about from the home parties thing that you used to do, the MLM,
Mm-hmm.
which is the multi-level
Mm-hmm.
marketing,
Mm-hmm.
to now your brick and mortar store,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're hoping to open
franchise.
franchise,
Putting it out there.
franchise. Woo, drop right now.
Manifest.
But how did that all happen? I know that you said that you are a self-proclaimed, pardon my plan words, fashionista. You love fashion since you were 4 years old, and you have a lot of stories about that. But how did it happen that you're sitting here in front of me today, the owner of Maverick Boutique, and you have one store working on another store? Maybe at this point you already have the second.
Mm-hmm.
How did that all manifest? How did that all happen?
Well, I will say, it's funny you just said manifest, but I truly believe in manifesting. And I just truly believe in whatever you want to call it, praying, manifesting, putting it out into the universe. I just think when you speak out loud what you want, things just happen. And when you work every day towards that vision or goal, things just fall into place. We were just saying every thing that happens on a daily basis, or a person that comes into your life, there is a reason for it. And I'm sorry to get like deep right now, but
that's what I want. It's a season or a reason. We were just talking literally before we got on air. We were talking about that.
Yeah. I just feel like people are put into your space for a reason. They're meant to be there to either teach you something or to, for you to learn from them or whatever it is. There's a reason for it. You just have to be open. And I think my entire life, I've always believed that I was meant for more. And I just would say yes to things a lot. Like, yeah, sure, I'll try that. Yeah, I'll do that. Why would I not do that? I never think I'm above anything. I never think I'm above anyone. I'll be the first person to say, yeah, let's try it. Let's do it. And I have a problem with giving up and saying no and just, not finishing something. So I'll be the hardest person working out there to make it work. And I have this, not competition, but I love to try my absolute hardest. At the end of the day, I want everyone to be able to say, listen, she gave it her all. Maybe it didn't work out the way we all thought it would, but God, she really gave it her all.
Right. Do you ever look back and go, oh my gosh, I did all this. I created this.
I do.
Do you ever do that? You do?
I do. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think it's a good thing. I do it on a daily basis with my kids. I'm like, wow, I created you. And you guys are like amazing, cool humans. Like, I want to hang out with you guys. I just like be your mom.
Most days.
Most days. I mean, I have
there
2
are
boys
days.
that, 8 and 9. And it's like World War III in my house every day. But I'm proud of everything. I'm proud of being a mom. I'm proud of being a wife. I'm proud of, owning a house. I'm proud of moving to Naples and not knowing a single person when I moved here and created this amazing life for myself. I'm proud of my businesses. I'm proud of saying I started screen printing in my garage.
Which is crazy. If you guys listened to the last podcast, I know her husband's probably a lot like mine. They give you the side eye and go, what are you doing now? Where are you spending the money?
Actually, a funny story. After I told my husband I wasn't going to be a realtor anymore and decided to take up screen printing, I honestly think he was like, we need to like talk to your parents. Like something's going on. Maybe it's postpartum. Like, I don't know what's happening.
Intervention time.
Right. And then after that business took off and it did so good, I decided to join LuLaRoe. And that buy-in at the time was $10,000. And my husband literally looked at me and said, no, you're not doing it. And I said, I'm sorry, but I am. And then
I already
did. I'm sorry. And then when that took off, he was like, all right, I trust you from here on out. You make the decisions. Like, I get it. I see your vision. Yeah. So it just takes persistence, ladies. Just keep doing it.
It sure does. And imagine if you wouldn't have taken those chances.
Right.
Should have, could have,
Right.
all of that. You're looking
Mhm.
back and going, oh, I wish I would have.
Mhm. Yeah. And I can honestly say there's not one thing in my life that I'm like, oh, really should have done that.
Right.
No, because
'Cause
I
you
know,
did it.
Right. Right. I did it. And I know that whatever I said no to, if I did say no to anything, it was for a reason. And I
Mhm.
wouldn't be in this exact spot I am right now.
Because you made your destiny.
Right. You create it.
You create it. You're right.
Mhm.
So you started out your current business that you have as an MLM. So
Mhm.
multi-level marketing, you had
Mhm.
people under you.
Mhm.
How did you take that and turn that into, or realize, I guess, that you
Mhm.
needed to turn that into a brick and mortar store? Like, what was your aha moments? What led to all of that?
So I'm going to be real because that's
Mhm.
who I am.
And we totally,
And I
authenticity is
respect
best.
people who are real. So I'm giving it to you real. I mean, it basically came down to finances. We started the business in 2019. It took off to the point where I was like, whoa, I need to get like a financial advisor. Like, I don't know what to do with all this money right now. I
Wow.
mean, it took off. But we grew at a space that I just feel like was not sustainable. And then COVID hit
Mhm.
and all my production is overseas.
Ugh.
And then we had, logistics issues with shipping and California. And if anyone knows all that, that was a disaster. I mean, we had product that I had paid for that was just sitting at ports for 6 months. I mean, the fact that we made it another 3 years, I'm like, how did I do it? How did I do it? We had so many people signing up at the same time because everyone was home from
Oh my
COVID.
gosh.
So it was kind of like a perfect disaster, but then I was scrambling to be like, I need inventory. I need a warehouse. How do I do all this right now? California is shut down. How do I do this? So we made it 3 years and another 3 years after that. And we talked about this in the last podcast, but if you're not growing, you're dying.
Mhm.
And we got to a point where we just weren't growing anymore. And I held on for as long as I could and I did everything possible. And that business advisor and financial advisor I was talking about said to me a year ago, call it quits.
Mhm.
And I said, no,
On the MLM.
on the MLM
part.
aspect, nothing to do with the boutique. They said, call it quits. And I said, no, I can't. I will mortgage my house again if I have to. I will not give up on this dream. I know my passion. I have goosebumps as I say it, but it came down to finances and being a smart businesswoman is knowing when to call it quits.
And it's not always the fun part.
It's the worst part
Mhm.
because I feel like it was a part of me. And I don't want to say that I feel like I failed because I don't.
Mhm.
I feel like I pushed through as hard as I possibly could. And I can say I tried every resource and did all the things I could. But at the end of the day, it really wasn't in my control anymore.
Mhm.
And I know my possibility of getting out there and selling and doing all the things. And I just felt like I was being held back and I couldn't do that. So it was time to make changes. And the online space is very hard. And it has been for a very long time. I mean, it's, price shopping and competition, and it's just hard. It's an ugly space sometimes. It's a beautiful space, but it's an ugly space.
Right.
And I missed that in-person interaction. And I just, my dream kind of evolved to, why can't I bring back brick and mortars? Why does everyone have to say it's dead? It's not.
It's definitely not. I will tell you
It's not. And I know we live in like this little euphoria here in Naples, but I know that there's places in the US that also thrive on that experience of shopping. And I really want to bring that back.
And
So
I
that's
agree
my
with
new
you.
goal.
I love that because I was actually somewhere recently and I was in these stores. I'm like, oh my gosh, their inventory sucks. Like, ugh. What? And the comment to the person in the store was, yeah, most of our stuff is online.
Right.
But then why do you have a store?
Right.
Do you have your stuff online as well as in the store?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
So you're doing both, which is awesome. But it's definitely not dead. I mean, I know I know my daughter who's a millennial loves to just buy online, but it's because she hasn't found anything locally because nobody had stuff to buy.
Right.
Because they all went online.
Right. And I think if we're just as a whole constantly saying, oh, brick and mortar's dead, brick and mortar's dead. Okay. Well, I mean, people are going to start to believe that.
Right. Manifesting.
You're manifesting it. I mean, I felt this insane like light bulb went off in my head. I took my boys, it was right after COVID. I took my boys to the mall. They look at me and they go, what is this place? And I was like, oh my God, I'm doing you such a disservice. How do you not know what this place is?
I love it. A disservice.
I
from me.
am. Like,
That's
how did
funny.
they not know? And it's their favorite thing in the entire world. My 8-year-old wants to have his birthday party and he just wants to go to the mall.
Oh my gosh.
I know. It's I don't know. To me, that speaks volumes. Our kids, we grew up going to the mall.
We did.
I mean, I would just go to the mall.
And this is why I'm laughing, because I'm like, oh gosh. Stephanie thinks she's failed. She hasn't introduced her children to the mall.
Listen, if that's the only aspect I feel like I failed in, I think I'm doing okay.
Oh my God, that is hilarious. I love it because we did grow up going to the mall.
And it was the best. Wasn't it the best?
It was. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So I just have this new, when I started the MLM, my goal was to have people understand what MLM is, and it's not gross and it's not icky and you can do it the right way. And now I feel like it's just evolved to, okay, guys, brick and mortar's not dead. Let's bring it back. Let's bring, how much did we all crave that human interaction during COVID?
Exactly.
Doesn't that speak volumes that we want that?
Absolutely. Is your closet overflowing, or maybe your kids' closet are as well? Or maybe you want to redecorate your house? If you're wondering what to do with all that stuff that you've accumulated, well, bring it all to True Fashionistas, or even ship it to them for free, and they'll sell your unwanted items for you. They take away all the hassle by doing all the work, and all you have to do is sit back and collect your money. You can reach out to them online at truefashionistas.com, come into the store, or check them out on Facebook or Instagram at truefashionistas.com. Welcome back, friends. We are in the studio with Stephanie Jonas of Maverick Boutique. We're talking business and brick and mortar and growing your business and all of that. What is different now in your life than it was when you first started your business?
Everything.
Okay.
Everything. I mean, I was working out of my garage when I first started. Now we have a 2,000 square foot warehouse. We have one location open in Naples. We have another one that's under contract at Coconut Point. Everything has changed. My vision has changed. It's evolved. I don't know if it's changed. It's evolved. My passion is there to still help and inspire and create. It's just kind of evolved to something else than it was in the beginning.
I have a question. How did you come up with the name Maverick?
So I started typing in words on Google that people have described me as. And I just kept typing, and, all these random things would come up in websites. And then I noticed that the word Maverick just kept popping up as an adjective.
Oh my gosh.
And I started reading what it meant. And it's someone that, goes against the grain and believes in herself and doesn't have to have validity from other people. And I was like, God, this is so me.
I love it.
This is so me.
That rebel in you, Steph.
But then I was like, there's no way I can trademark Maverick. I mean, there's no way, right? So then I started kind of just thinking of okay, how can I wrap this into clothes? And the collection just kind of popped up. So I called my trademark lawyer, and she was like, yeah, let's do it. We can trademark it. So,
awesome.
Yeah, Maverick the collection.
You've trademarked Maverick the collection.
I've trademarked it. It's mine.
Any thought of doing Maverick the boutique?
It definitely was a thought. I just feel like my brand is so Maverick the collection. I've just ingrained it into people's heads. I don't want there to be confusion. I don't know though. It's definitely been a thought that I've had for a while.
And you've talked about possibly franchising.
Yeah, that's my goal.
That's
my manifestation for 2023. I just feel like I basically already was franchising. That's basically what an MLM is. I mean, you're just having girls sign up that use your brand and use, your branding and use your products and go off of your vibe. And I basically already did that. So I'm ready to kind of bring it to the brick and mortar space of franchising.
And like we were talking, your culture is everything.
Right.
It embodies who you are as a brand.
Right. So. And I think we just have very key points that make us stand out, like our coloring and our styles of our clothes and the way I wear them and the way I model them and the way I have other people model them, all different bodies. And I think there's just a need for it. I have so many people on a daily basis that are like, wait, how can I sell Maverick? I want to sell Maverick. How can I do it? Can you help me? Everyone thinks opening up a business is easy.
They do.
And there's so much that goes into it. So when you have someone that can kind of give you everything and leads
Mhm.
you the right way, it's a game changer.
It is. Which goes into my second point. What has been the hardest thing overall in owning your business or starting your business?
Separating the personal and keeping it strictly business.
Mhm.
Granted, I started a company with 400 women, so there was a lot of emotion.
Right, of course.
And I'm a fixer and I want to
Mhm.
help everyone and I want everyone to, be their best version and I want to be able to be there to help them do it. And I get real invested.
Yes.
We talked about this
We
earlier.
did.
But I feel
goodness.
it. And it's hard for me to let go. And it's hard for me to just be like, no, this is a business decision. And no, I don't want to know, how everything makes you feel. And I don't want to talk about how everything makes me feel. We're here to
Mhm.
have a business. So I think that's been the biggest lesson. And I feel like I've truly grown immensely over the years with learning how to do that.
And I've found through when you have to have those tough conversations or go through those tough points, that's your area of growth
Mm-hmm.
because you come out of it on the other side
Mm-hmm.
a changed person.
Yep.
And
each
able
time,
each
it's
time.
different.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
But you're able to take on even something tougher
Mm-hmm.
the next time.
Yeah.
Because you've grown, you've stretched. It's like exercising.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I've got bigger muscles because I broke that down.
Yeah.
And I built it back up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that quote, I make it run through my head daily is that, the way someone treats you has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
And, when people are saying mean things, typically
Mm-hmm.
it's because they're just not, happy or fulfilled or
Right.
something else is going on in their life. It's not truly about you. So being able to separate that and say, okay, maybe this isn't really about the business. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
this really isn't about me, has really helped me also.
Yeah. I heard a quote at one time or just a saying of, how pay attention to how someone treats you the first time
Mm,
because that's going to indicate how they treat you the next time
I like
and the
that.
next time.
I like that.
So I'm so full of those.
I have
like,
so many quotes written down that she has said. I love it.
I just retain information.
Yeah, no, it's good.
So any parting words that you want to leave for our audience today? Anything that you're like, what, this has really gotten me through. This is really something that I want everybody to know. I want to shout it from the rooftops.
Oh, I feel like there's so many. On our first podcast that we filmed, those top 5 things, that's just that is the Bible, I think, for starting a business. You need those 5 things.
And so I'm going to recap those
right
now. Consistency and discipline,
Mm-hmm.
thick skin, unwavering confidence, balance and schedule, and leading with a vision.
Yeah.
And creating that vision.
Yeah. Just, we talked about this too, not giving up. Your first 4 businesses may fail. Big deal. Because maybe number 5 is the one that changes the world or changes you and changes your family. I just feel like we're so quick to be like, no, I'm giving myself 6 months. And if it's not successful, I'm giving up and I'm a failure and I can't do anything else. Keep trying. Who cares? We all fail.
We do.
It's not, who are we to put a timeline on something? Not to get spiritual, but there's a bigger plan out there.
Right.
Who are we to say, no, my first business is the one that has to make me millions. So just keep going.
I love that.
Yeah.
So if our listeners want to get a hold of you or want to shop your store, how do they do that?
Well, please come by our store at the Shops at Vanderbilt. We're right across from Flacco's, Unit 814. You cannot miss our sign. It's as big as Collier County would approve.
We all have that issue.
And then online, Maverick _ the collection on Instagram, on Facebook, Maverick the Collection by Stephanie Jonas, and then our website, maverickthecollection.com.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for joining me again today.
Thank you.
And thank you, my friends, for joining us today and every week here on The Fashionista Life, brought to you by True Fashionistas. If you want a deeper dive, head to my website, thefashionistalife.com, to sign up for my weekly newsletters where we take a deeper dive each week into a new topic. Have a fabulous day.